Going to interrupt Noga there just to hear from Olivier Faure, the Socialist leader.
We told the Prime Minister that we were among those who wanted to find a way forward. We couldn't leave our fellow French citizens in this anxious situation, that we needed to find a way out of this crisis. And of course, we are willing to work on this way out. We are faced with a resigning Prime Minister, so because he's resigning, he could not answer all our questions, but he took note of what we are asking for, and also clarification that was asked by different players these last few days. We talked about the issue of Article 49, paragraph 3. I think the resigning Prime Minister reiterated his willingness not to use this article in Parliament. We also asked him about the budget pathway, since he said that things were becoming more flexible, that there might be some leeway, and we want to use this flexibility to prevent from putting things in a more aggressive situation. Of course, we also spoke about suspending the pension reforms, but at this moment we have no reassurances as to the possibility of the suspension. As mentioned by the Minister of Education, Elisabeth Borne, who is the author of the reform, but at this point no one guarantees that this suspension would actually happen. We also asked for this suspension not only to concern the legal age, but also to suspend the issue of the length of saving for pensions. It's a bit technical, but in any case, the answer was not brought by the Prime Minister. But the President will meet with the Prime Minister most probably later in this day, and the Prime Minister will be able to then present his findings to the President. And then afterwards we'll know what the future will hold, and we'll continue fighting to make sure that things will take a better turn, and the best solution to that will be for the left and the Greens to be able to be part of the government, because we need a change of direction. Maybe Patrice Vernet could come back, but the budget that we see presented today is a draft budget that we cannot subscribe to. And also it's unimaginable for us to have a shared government with Macronists. We want to avoid the current budget, and so that is what I can tell you as a short introduction. Now we'll answer your questions and also give the opportunity to those who are in the meeting with us to take to say a few words. So when it comes to pension reform, we know what you're asking for. What does Sébastien Lecornu say? Well, I told you, he is a resigning Prime Minister, so he took note of our demands. He understood that we would not accept just any kind of suspension. If it was just a smoke screen, of course we wouldn't accept it. We only have one mandate, and that is that given to us by the French people. And so what we are doing today is not only speaking to the Prime Minister or the President, but also speaking to the citizens of this country to guarantee good work, good salaries, and a good pension. We don't want to keep doing the same thing that we've done up until now. We have a mandate, we want to move forward. This is the only way to move forward. Right now we're in a crisis. The ruling coalition, this common ground, they no longer have any common ground. And what we want is solutions. And so what has to happen is some things have to change. And what could that look like? Well, the left could be part of the government, could govern this country. And there are many issues on 49.3 on the budget, and we also ensured that when it comes to the pension reform, we have to make sure we're not faced with the sort of masquerade that would just be deceiving us. We would be criticized for not going to the end of things, so we want to make sure that we are going to the end of things.
Mais nous avons dit notre disponibilité pour exercer les responsabilités.
We said what we were ready to do in order to have a change of political direction. And our only concern is that things change for the French people, that people be able to work, that be able to have access to public service, that we have a just budget. And we need a budget, but not just any budget for this country. And I think this will be useful for French people. We have different propositions on taxation, on purchasing power, and we talked to this resigning Prime Minister, and we understood that he did not have the leeway, the power to make decisions. So he will transmit these messages to the President of the Republic. But even within the President's own camp, there are voices that are saying that he needs to look towards the left, and that he needs to meet the needs for change of this country. And among these changes, there's the suspension of the pension reform, and this cannot just be a superficial suspension. It has to be real, because we have this political crisis as well as a problem with social injustice. I also wanted to specify that this word of breaking away has a meaning, and the resigning Prime Minister used this word of break several times, and we want this break to be translated into something real when it comes to the environmental policy, social policy, and so on. Monsieur Bayrou, Lecornu, and Barnier, they always held the same narrative. They had the same will, and we were faced with them with the same goal. We want the suspension of Madame Borne's pension reform. Yesterday there was a statement which was a bit of an opening towards us, and we hope that the negotiations that are launched by Mr. Lecornu and through the exchanges with the President of the Republic, we hope that the President, who has been very determined, if not even obstinate, about this reform, we hope that he will understand that French people want the discussion about pension reform to be reopened with the different players. So we want a suspension of this reform so that that will be able to take place. Are you calling for the naming of a left-wing Prime Minister? Yes, absolutely, because we represent the voices of millions of French people, and they've been telling us every day that what is happening is terrible, it's shocking, and it's something that has to stop. This is the message that we're hearing. You can see that French women, French men are witnessing a spectacle that is so bad that it undermines the stability of their daily lives and that of the country. And secondly, in a country such as France, there can be no stability without justice. So this is not the case today, neither will it be the case tomorrow. So in order to guarantee stability in this country, we need the President to stop being so obstinate, because and get out of his isolation, because he's isolated even within his own camp. There are voices that are calling on him to act. So this is the first very clear and strong message that we said to the resigning Prime Minister. We worked on this message together with our colleagues from the Green Party and the other left party. But the situation for the reforms is very important. And thank you very much.
The message there from the Socialists as they came out of that meeting at Matignon with the French Prime Minister Sébastien Lecornu, saying they want to find a way forward and they can't leave French citizens in this anxious situation. But Olivier Faure going on to say that he took note of what we want and said he will put those propositions to the French President Emmanuel Macron to see if they can find some kind of way forward. He also spoke a lot about the budget and about pension reforms.